welcome. It's been a while. But today, we're going to look again at this YouTube war and what happened. So if you don't know, for a couple months, off and on, I have been in a YouTube war with Malandrac of Cascadia. And now after only a few rounds, it has gone into this, but due to turns sometimes being weeks apart, it has taken quite a while to get here. Even though if you look at it, I think this is turn 6, and Malandrac of Cascadia has surrendered. So I want to take a look at it real quick, why the Allies won. What did the Germans do that was good? What did the Allies do that was good? What did both the sides do that was bad? And so let's begin. The Germans at the beginning found a lot of success. They took over Egypt a lot, and it was a real back and forth battle for Egypt, which was very good on the Germans' part, and even at the end of the game, they held Egypt. And also, they found a lot of success on the Eastern Front. Though this is probably just from my own incompetence from not playing the Soviet Union. I normally play Japan, UK, Germany, Italy, and Anniversary Edition. I don't really play Soviets. So, due to this incompetence, my Air Force was wiped out turn 1 in Leningrad. Then 4 of my precious tanks were destroyed again in Leningrad. And I expanded too much early and the Germans made some mistakes on the Eastern Front by not reinforcing certain spots, but I couldn't exploit these mistakes, leading to an overall German victory, and for a while, them controlling Moscow. But the fatal mistake to Germans, because right now it seems like they were doing super good, came with they didn't build a navy at all. They had a few U-boats at the beginning of the game, but never invested anything in a navy, allowing Britain to D-Day like turn 2, turn 3, which also ultimately had them naval landing in Germany, which that's not good at all for the Germans. It was great for me, though. So, overall, it was just they couldn't control Western Europe because they didn't build a navy, and they just kind of ignored the UK and went on for the Soviet Union. I guess they didn't ignore the UK, they were trying to push down and control Africa because that would make the UK a lot weaker. But even a weak UK, if you don't put up any opposition, can build a navy. Then, in the Pacific, Japan actually did really good, taking India first turn, or almost taking India the first turn, taking India the second turn, and it was really only luck that saved the Far East from complete Axis domination. So, they actually had the better strategy here, just the dice rolls were on my side at the beginning. Then the UK exploited having a lone transport just going around, and the Japanese not having a navy or air force down here, taking the East Indies, and overall just wreaking havoc. And the Japanese forces were all up here, and it really just overall failed. Probably mostly because of good dice rolls. And also the Americans really didn't do too much in the Pacific. They came with some force, but didn't leave any lasting impact. So they didn't really have much to do with the game at all. So some mistakes were definitely the UK should have done better in India. They should have put tanks in their first turn. America was a bit slow to get going, especially in the Pacific, which if the Americans had been more active in the Pacific, could have taken down Japanese. And this was their first turn actually landing in Europe. It was the same turn that the game ended from. Surrender. The Soviets, overall, very incompetent. I did not do at all well playing the Soviets. But by the end, I had just I built units enough that I was a good enough distraction for the British to come in. Though I wasn't really more than noise before death, really. And it's a miracle that at the end of the game, the Soviets have Moscow. Also, at the end of the game, I personally, as a German player, they had a lot of tanks in the Caucasus, 4, I believe. I would have marched them to try and retake Germany. It would have been futile, but at least we could try and retake their capital, because they then launched an attack on Moscow, which I really don't think was the smartest move, since those IPCs would have just gone to the British monster, which had over 100 IPCs from taking Germany's IPCs and their own at the end. Which is probably the main reason for surrender, because Germany was just about done, and 100 IPCs pointed towards the Japanese, hanging around 30. It would just be so many units, so many just battleships and tanks rolling in. They wouldn't be able to hold. I mean, they could have lasted a while, but overall they wouldn't have been able to hold. So, Malandrac of Cascadia surrendered, I think for good reason. They were a very good player. I'd say, as Germany, they only really made one big mistake that led to the downfall of the Axis. And I have definitely learned that Japan, in the 1942 start date, should be a lot more aggressive and try and take India. Because in my games, attacking India first turn was really unheard of. So, I didn't really plan on that. Which was probably my biggest mistake, other than Soviets in general. Which, if you want to watch it, I made some big blunders. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.